stunt involving an airplane. She is one of the worst passengers to ever travel on their airline. She was rude to the air hostesses. She tried to get upgrades. That was before she met Prince Harry. And she refused to even look after Archie on the flight, and he was crying for a long time.
On May 18, 2026, a British Airways Boeing 777 operating flight BA269 departed Heathrow, with a single high-profile passenger seated in the premium cabin. According to the flight manifest, Meghan was listed on board, while Harry's name did not appear on the passenger list. Approximately 6 hours into the journey, a cabin crew member reportedly presented Meghan with a card.
We're merching our own wedding too. This is all extraordinary stuff, especially the fact that she claims that the British Airways crew on her flight from Europe back to Los Angeles just happened to know that it was her 8th wedding anniversary and just happened to write her this card expressing what a delight she is on the.
The message on the card was addressed to Dearest Harry and Meghan, and was accompanied by a captain's signature and a bottle of champagne placed beside it. While some may interpret the gesture as a routine courtesy from the crew, the detail drawing attention is not based on opinion or speculation, but on the wording of the card itself, which appears inconsistent with the documented passenger information.
Weird picture getting ready to leave for the event on cyberbullying, and the whole event was about protecting your kids from social media, and I guess she doesn't see the hypocrisy that she's posting her kid on social media.
On May 17, 2026, Meghan Markle appeared at a podium in Geneva, addressing a World Health Organization-related event focused on online safety and the impact of social media on children. The appearance, however, quickly became part of broader online commentary, with critics highlighting what they described as a contradiction between her public messaging on child online protection and her own social media activity. The following day, Meghan reportedly traveled from Geneva to Heathrow Airport, as there is no direct commercial route from Geneva to Los Angeles. Available flight routing information indicates she transited through Heathrow's Terminal 5 before boarding British Airways flight BA269, a long-haul service scheduled for Los Angeles.
She leaks to People magazine, her propagandist at People magazine, that this was the crew, the British Airways crew, and she was just so touched that they loved her so much. Here's the article. Meghan Markle was moved by the kindness of a British Airways flight crew who helped ring in her wedding anniversary with Prince.
According to publicly available flight tracking histories and Heathrow departure records, BA269 pushed back approximately 26 minutes behind schedule before departing for the United States, ultimately landing in Los Angeles at around 17:07 Pacific Time. The journey was described in reports as a solo travel arrangement, with Meghan arriving alone and later posting to Instagram the following morning. Prince Harry was not listed on the flight manifest, and there are no publicly available records or photographs placing him at Heathrow during that period. Media coverage from outlets including People and Hello Magazine did not indicate his presence on the flight, while follow-up commentary from GB News framed Meghan's transit through London as a standalone movement rather than a joint appearance. In the broader discussion, British media narratives varied in interpretation, but available reporting consistently described Meghan's journey as independent, with no confirmed documentation showing Prince Harry accompanying her on BA269. On the return journey from Geneva to Montecito, Meghan Markle reportedly traveled alone aboard British Airways flight BA269, a long-haul service operating from Heathrow to Los Angeles. The aircraft carried several hundred passengers and was staffed by a full cabin crew, including the flight's captain. Based on publicly available flight records, Prince Harry was not listed on the passenger manifest and was not reported to be present on board the aircraft. In the period between departure and arrival, approximately 12 hours, the only widely documented public output was a later Instagram story posted by Meghan, acknowledging the cabin crew and referencing the occasion of the journey. Within that window, media outlets including People magazine published an exclusive account describing a gesture made by the flight crew in recognition of Meghan's wedding anniversary. The article attributed its details to a source close to the Duchess of Sussex and reported that the crew presented a celebratory note during the flight, along with warm messages marking the occasion. The card itself, as later circulated online, was addressed to Dearest Harry and Meghan, despite Harry not being listed as a passenger on BA269. This discrepancy has been highlighted in commentary, particularly given that standard airline practice typically involves personalizing in-flight gestures based on the passengers physically present on board, or on pre-arranged requests submitted in advance. The card also carried reference to flight BA269 and the date of May 18, suggesting it was formally associated with that specific journey. The inclusion of both names, rather than only the traveling passenger, has therefore become a focal point of discussion around how and when the message was prepared. Further reporting described the cabin crew collectively participating in the gesture, with notes and signatures added to the card. According to those accounts, the moment was framed as a celebratory anniversary acknowledgement during the flight. However, questions raised in commentary focus on the sequence of events and the coordination involved, particularly how the crew would have known in advance to address the card to both Harry and Meghan if only one of them was confirmed to be on the passenger manifest. The publicly circulated image of the card shows a structured, multi-element message rather than a single uniform note. The main body of the card appears to be written in one consistent handwriting style, described in commentary as neat and carefully formed. Separately, a captain's message is placed apart from the main text, and is visually distinct in both placement and handwriting style. This has led observers to note that the card was likely assembled by more than one individual, consistent with typical airline practice where cabin crew members contribute individual signatures or short notes, while a senior crew member such as the captain adds a separate message or sign-off. The wording of the card, addressed to Dearest Harry and Meghan, has become a central point of scrutiny, particularly given that available passenger information indicates only Meghan was confirmed to be traveling on BA269. In standard in-flight service procedures, celebratory messages are usually tailored to passengers on board, unless a prior arrangement or briefing specifies otherwise. The presence of multiple handwriting styles, combined with the dual name address, has therefore been interpreted in different ways in commentary. Some view it as a coordinated crew gesture assembled during the flight, while others argue it suggests pre-preparation or prior instruction regarding how the message should be framed. At present, the only publicly cited explanation for the circumstances of the card comes from secondary reporting attributed to unnamed sources, while no official, detailed procedural account from the airline has been published to fully clarify how the wording and preparation were determined. On the same BA269 flight, attention also turned to a separate inscription attributed to the captain, identified in commentary as Ed French. In addition to the main handwritten message on the card, a distinct captain's note appears set apart from the collective crew signatures. The message, as circulated, reads along the lines of a warm on-board greeting and congratulatory remark marking the anniversary occasion, and is signed individually by the captain. This separation between the captain's handwriting and the rest of the card has been noted as consistent with standard airline presentation practices, where the captain may add a formal sign-off distinct from cabin crew contributions. In broader discussion, the existence of such a personalized captain's message has prompted questions about how onboard crew were made aware of the anniversary in the first place. Commercial aviation procedures typically allow captains and crew to access passenger information through operational manifests and airline systems, which can include travel details and, in some cases, loyalty program data or noted special occasions when flagged in advance. However, the extent to which such data is used for celebratory acknowledgements is not publicly detailed in full by airlines on a flight-by-flight basis. British Airways has not issued a specific public statement confirming or denying the internal process behind this particular gesture. Separately, commentary around the broader narrative has pointed to British Airways' publicly available policies, which describe how cabin crew may use executive club or customer profile information to enhance onboard service. These policies generally reference the use of passenger preferences and available profile data to personalize hospitality, though they do not typically outline individual celebratory decisions in specific cases. As a result, interpretations of the BA269 card vary depending on how those general service principles are applied to the specific incident. Some view the message as a routine extension of passenger personalization practices, while others argue that the level of specificity in the inscription raises questions about whether the gesture was entirely spontaneous or informed by prior knowledge within the airline systems or pre-flight coordination. On May 18, 2026, attention surrounding British Airways Flight BA269 and a celebratory anniversary card presented on board intensified following further claims circulating in media commentary and online discussion. According to widely shared descriptions, a passenger identified as Meghan Markle traveled in the premium cabin on the long-haul service from Heathrow to Los Angeles. Publicly available flight records and reporting do not indicate that Prince Harry was present on the flight, and he was not listed on the passenger manifest referenced in coverage of the journey. The central point of debate has focused on a handwritten card reportedly presented during the flight. The card is said to have been addressed to Dearest Harry and Meghan, a detail that has drawn scrutiny given that only Meghan was confirmed to be on board. In standard airline service procedures, personalized messages are typically based on the passengers physically present or on pre-submitted requests made before departure. Additional attention has been drawn to the structure of the card itself. Reports and circulating images suggest the message contained multiple handwriting styles, with a main section contributed by cabin crew and a separate inscription attributed to the captain, identified in commentary as Ed French. This has been interpreted as consistent with multi-contributor crew acknowledgements commonly seen in in-flight celebratory gestures, where both cabin crew and senior flight officers may sign or add individual notes. Further discussion has referenced British Airways' publicly available customer service policies, which outline that executive club and passenger profile data may be used to enhance onboard service, including recognizing special occasions where such information is available in advance or linked to passenger preferences. However, these policies do not provide detailed confirmation of how, or whether, such data was applied in specific individual cases. At the same time, British Airways has not issued a detailed public explanation regarding the circumstances of the card, leaving the exact process behind its preparation unverified in official statements. Media coverage during the same period also highlighted broader commentary around Meghan Markle's public communications and media strategy, including interpretations of her social media activity and brand-related content rollout. These discussions have been presented by commentators as part of a wider narrative around publicity timing and media engagement, though such interpretations remain subjective and not independently confirmed as coordinated intent. In summary, the BA269 card incident remains publicly documented only through circulated images, secondary reporting, and commentary analysis. While some observers interpret the details as consistent with standard in-flight celebratory practices supported by airline service policies, others question the sequence and preparation process due to the dual name addressing and absence of an official explanatory statement from British Airways. On the BA269 flight on May 18, 2026, commentary surrounding the anniversary card incident continued to circulate, with differing interpretations presented across media and online platforms. The widely shared narrative states that Meghan Markle traveled alone in the premium cabin on the British Airways long-haul service from Heathrow to Los Angeles, with publicly available flight information and reporting not listing Prince Harry. British Airways' publicly available service information indicates that passenger profile data, including loyalty program details, may be used to enhance onboard service and recognize special occasions when available in advance. However, the airline has not provided a specific public explanation regarding the preparation or briefing process behind this particular card, leaving the exact sequence of events officially unconfirmed. Media coverage and commentary have also placed the incident within a broader context of Meghan Markle's public communications and media presence during the same period, noting a coordinated flow of social media activity and press coverage around the anniversary. As of the reporting available, British Airways has not issued a detailed statement confirming or denying how the message was prepared, and interpretations of the event remain divided. Some observers view it as a routine example of in-flight hospitality and crew-led celebration, while others argue that certain details, particularly the dual-name addressing and timing of media coverage, raise questions about prior coordination or advance knowledge. Ultimately, the BA269 card incident remains documented through circulated imagery, secondary reporting, and commentary analysis, with no official, step-by-step confirmation from the airline publicly outlining the internal process behind the message.